Now, this Cowboys kicking situation is interesting, to say the least. And it's primarily due to the fact that before training camp started, it kind of was under the assumption that Jonathan Garibay would get the job, right? It's like, you got the young guy, he's got the good resume, you name it. And then, as we go through training camp, it really feels like they both struggled. Not just Jonathan Garibay, but also Lirim. Hallelujah, however you want to say his last name. But this is a problem. The Dallas Cowboys elected to move on from Greg Zuerlein. Right decision in the offseason, but it feels like right now they didn't really do anything to improve at that spot. Now, we're not asking for a prime Dan Bailey. We're not asking for a Justin Tucker-like kicker. We're just asking, can you be more consistent than Greg Zuerlein? When you can make the kicks, just make the kicks. That's all we care about, right? You're not going to hit every single one of them, but that's what we're looking for. So today we're going to talk about this Cowboys kicking situation, what I feel the Cowboys should do, where we stand right now, and, what could be the best and worst case scenarios out of this whole bunch. So, before we get started, if you can like this video, that'd be greatly appreciated. It takes less than a second to do. Helps the video perform better in the algorithm. Thank you. Subscribe if you're new, or you keep coming back. I checked the numbers, and over 65% of you guys watching are not subscribed. So if you fall into that percentile, hit the big red subscribe button, and hit that notification bell while you're at it, so you get notified when I post new content. Okay. So it was kind of a assumption, like I mentioned earlier, when we did the video about the training camp pre-position battle thing, where it felt like the kicking spot was decided already, but it apparently isn't. So you have both kickers struggling, and it's not like they both suck. It's more so something worse than that. It's being inconsistent. And the reason why I say that's worse is because you can't really get a key determination on which one's doing better than the other. Like, you will have Lirim go, like today, he went 3 of 8, and then you have Jonathan Garibay going 6 of 8. Now, keep in mind, like, these are misses within the 40s, by the way. Like, if you get into the 50s and, like, you're consistently missing, that's one thing, because, it's kind of hard to hit those super consistently. But we're talking about in the 40s, and, they're both missing. Like, one day, Garibay did very well, and Lirim didn't do so well, then vice versa, and then another vice versa, and it's getting bad because us as Cowboy fans remember that the kicking game cost us 2 games last year, right? And some people might say, well, that's not important. We need to score touchdowns more. I agree. But you got to realize that you're not going to score a touchdown on every single drive, and you're not going to be in a position to do that. So you're going to need a kicker to come in, knock down some field goals, and take care of business. And the biggest issue with the Cowboys right now is that they don't have that. So the question has been, do you bring in a veteran kicker? This is my personal take on the matter. I believe, and this is going similar to our wide receiving position, because we're going to talk about that, like options and free agency as well. The first thing I'm doing is keeping these two and going through all of this starting point until the first preseason game. Maybe 2. The reason why I'm doing that is because I need to see does someone become more consistent than the other. Then in the regular games in the preseason, determine who's better. And it's going to be hard because now you're banking on your offense getting into field goal range, so you know what I mean? But if you have a scenario where you find out that, hey, Jonathan Garibay, he's the guy, cool, you roll with him. If Lirim's doing very well, roll with him. But I want them to be pushed a little bit more. I think you first decide out of the 2 who's better, bring in a veteran kicker, have them go at it, and whoever does that wins. And you might be saying, well, who's out there? Well, I'll be honest, there isn't a whole lot out there. You got Kai Forbath out there. If you want PTSD, you have Brett Maher out there. You do have Dan Bailey out there. You have some options, but this cannot be an on-the-job training situation. And it's all about confidence, right? You can bring in a guy like Dan Bailey. You can bring in anybody else. if you do bring these guys in, now the question shifts to, okay, well, do you roll with them until they struggle? Because this is where I'm getting scared about, is that it's one thing when you're going through the motions and nothing, nothing can really be determined because it's like, it's just a kicker battle, whatever. But it's another thing when, you have a scenario where you have one kicker that you decided to move on from and you haven't really done anything yet. And I'm not trying to hit the full-on panic button yet if the Cowboys are doing what I personally think they should do. I would hit the panic button if we're getting into game 3 or 2 of the preseason and nothing's changed. Because there's an issue at kicker. There definitely is as of this video. And I hope I jinx it. I hope that one of these guys emerges because I need a consistent kicker. I do not want to be pulling whatever hair I have left out of my head because someone can't miss kicks and then we end up either missing the playoffs or losing a seeding spot due to the fact that one of these jackasses didn't kick a field goal correctly. So, I don't know what the Cowboys have planned. I think they're going to do the same thing like their wide receivers and kickers. In the same token, that being, they're going to wait, determine the landscape of the field, and also how the NFL is looking. If someone opens up, they might, add someone. Or they might just add someone late like they did with Anthony Barr. I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for the sense of urgency because, if you already see how things are going and you do it well, cool, I'm going to give you kudos. But the biggest thing is you can't, put your, hands behind your back and act like everything's A-okay because, Jerry Jones like, oh, we're okay with the kicking situation, which I don't know how you can't be, how you can not be concerned about that because, I know you're not trying to say like, oh, we struggling at kicking. Like, I get the whole confidence factor to that. Similar to, again, the receivers where you're trying to get them confident, making them work harder for it rather than just bringing in a vet immediately. I understand that concept, but that's assuming the Cowboys follow that route. If they do, I'm going to give props to the front office there, but they need to look at those situations and respond accordingly. So I think I pretty much exhausted this little talking point. We'll be talking about the receivers later today when this recording comes out. So please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. And thank you for reaching the end of this video. You're a real MVP for that. If you missed the last video, we talked about Anthony Barr coming to the Cowboys and my thoughts on that. Short little video. Click on it on the middle right there, and you'll get that video. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.